All right, so DNI Tulsi Gabbard yesterday released something that was absolutely shocking to the world, and I just got through it looking at some of the released documents. So I want to, in this video, summarize for you some of those takeaways, what it means, and also just lay out what the significance is in all of this because it is absolutely crazy. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And also what is coming next is going to be absolutely shocking to the world. So let's get into it. So DNI Tulsi Gabbard on her final day yesterday posted that she was going to release documents related to this whole Dr. Fauci, gain of function, Wuhan lab, and all this COVID related stuff that had happened. And she did this. Now she has a second Twitter account. This is her personal one. And she said about 13 hours later, which was about 13 hours ago, coincidentally, from when she first posted that on her professional channel, where she again wrote the same, basically same verbatim message saying that she's exposing never before seen documents relating to Fauci directing millions of U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab, worked with IC intelligence community people to suppress the truth about his actions and hide the virus lab leak origins, and lied to Congress while under oath in 2024. Now, yesterday in a video, I talked about how the words "it's time" was done in coordination, and this is what Q had mentioned about synchronizing some of these messages as more exposure comes. But if you go to the website, odni.gov, then you can see these yourself. You can click on it, which I did here. You can see the index in the first page, and there's tons of assessment here from all of this research and declassification of all these documents. Here's the part 2, and there's hundreds and hundreds of pages. And then the last part, part 4. So what this has done primarily is that it vindicated independent free thinkers, people that were written off as conspiracy theorists that have questioned and said certain things. This has basically affirmed that. Now, not to its entirety, but directionally, it has validated many things that people have been talking about for many years. So Tulsi released a massive trove of declassified documents, internal communications, and whistleblower allegations regarding the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic. Her release fundamentally shifted the historical record, validating what many independent analysts and free thinkers had suspected all along. The lab leak hypothesis was highly credible. The settled science, so to speak, was a manufactured consensus, and federal agencies actively coordinated to suppress the truth. Here's a complete breakdown of that research. And so basically what she said was, in summary, was number one, the lab leak and gain of function was real and known. So for years, the claims that U.S. funds supported dangerous virus manipulation in Chinese labs were dismissed as a conspiracies, but these documents prove otherwise. So namely the Eco Health Alliance and gain of function. So there was an interim report for Eco Health Alliance's 2014-2019, or between those years, grant that specifically detailed their work in China. The report confirms researchers use reverse genetics, pseudovirus, and humanized mice to test how bat coronaviruses could mutate to use human receptors, the exact definition of gain of function type research. So advanced synthetic biology at WIV, which is the Wuhan Institute of Virology. So a declassified 2016 research article from the WIV demonstrated the lab's advanced ability to seamlessly assemble long viral DNA sequences well before the pandemic. And then the LLIL assessment, so a May 2020 report from the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, concluded early that all necessary conditions for an accidental release of a laboratory-modified coronavirus were present at the WIV. There was a viral video, and also this person, Peter Daszak, who was, I think formerly, or maybe still is, the Eco Health Alliance president, the CEO, or rather a top leadership. But basically, he had a smoking gun email where he had prior knowledge, basically, of this. So an internal intelligence email from June 8th, 2021, titled "New Daszak Video Going Around Proves the U.S. Intelligence Community Was Tracking a 2016 Video of Eco Health Alliance President Peter Daszak." So admitting to the manipulation. In the video, he explicitly discusses with his colleagues in China that manipulating the spike protein on coronaviruses to make them more virulent, meaning to be more viral in nature, so it can spread more easily. So the hypocrisy, this confirms the IC knew Daszak was openly admitting to this dangerous research years prior, even as Daszak publicly orchestrated the famous Lancet letter condemning the lab leak theory as a destructive conspiracy. Again, remember that Lancet letter at the time was used far and wide as no, there was no lab leak. It was all natural. It set the framework of how people accepted certain things as being true or not. And then number 3, there was coordinated suppression and Dr. Fauci's role. So independent researchers heavily scrutinized Dr. Fauci, accusing him of a cover-up. The documents support these accusations. So Fauci's conflict of interest, internal emails from July 2021 explicitly named Dr. Fauci as having a conflict of interest regarding the origins investigations, acknowledging his compromised position. So steering the narrative, the documents allege Fauci, who oversaw the funding for the dangerous bat coronavirus research at the WIV, remained in contact with intelligence officials during key stages of their review to steer them toward a natural origin consensus. So DNI Gabbard publicly alleged he lied under oath to Congress in 2024 regarding this involvement. And then suppressing the famous Yan report. If you remember, in September 2020, emails show government officials actively coordinating to discredit a report by Chinese virologist Dr. Leiman Yang, which claimed the virus was manufactured, and deliberately steering inquiries away from lab origin claims. And then the CIA whistleblower testimony, and this person also was suppressed regarding finding these conclusions during 2021 and 2023. And then also, which was the most dangerous during that time when information, misinformation, narrative warfare was happening, is point number 4, domestic surveillance and the war on dissent. Perhaps the most chilling confirmation for alternative analysts was the revelation of how the government targeted its own citizens, labeling citizens as extremists. Documents from the ODNI's the Directors Initiative Group, DIG, exposed that the federal security apparatus internally labeled Americans who dissented from official pandemic mandates, mass lockdowns, vaccines, as quote-unquote domestic violent extremists, end quote. So coordinated censorship happened. The release confirmed that the suppression of dissenting opinions and alternative treatments was not just independent social media moderation, but involved coordination, federal surveillance, and censorship actions. The lie of settled science. While the public was told the science is settled to justify draconian mandates, internal documents revealed that the U.S. intelligence agencies never reached a definitive, unanimous conclusion regarding the virus's origins. And then the Global Bio Lab Network, and this was a release that she did a few weeks ago where she talked about the bio labs, 120 bio labs across, I think, 30 countries. So validating long-standing suspicions regarding the sheer scale of shadowy overseas pathogen research. DNI Gabbard also declassified intelligence revealing U.S. government funding for over 120 biological laboratories across more than 30 countries. This includes warnings about U.S.-funded biolabs in Ukraine that housed dangerous pathogens. So the Gabbard declassifications prove that the reservations held by dissenting citizens were not unfounded paranoia. The documents reveal a clear historical pattern. The scientific capability for a lab leak existed. The dangerous research was U.S. funded, and a massive coordinated institutional apparatus was deployed to cover it up, censor the public, and protect the officials involved. Absolutely crazy. And even President Trump just a few hours ago posted about this. Again, Biden administration buried whistleblower complaint alleging Fauci lied to Congress during pandemic. So again, as I've been saying before, those 4 years with Biden and with just everything going on, that whole theater that was happening was done for a reason, to wake up people, and people were awake. People were speaking up, but you can clearly see what was happening. Dissension, censorship, all of this stuff weaponized to go against anybody that even questioned it. They said, hey, I have some reservations about what the narrative is. And those scientists, those doctors, we saw it live happen. They were written off as crazy people, as conspiracy theorists. They said, hey, just go with the flow with what the World Health Organization has said, what the government tells you to do. Go wear the mask, 6 feet apart, all this stuff. But realize that the concerns people had was not some extremist view. It was, hey, what does the actual research say? What is it that we should be looking at? Let's just question some of these things. And that was suppressed. And I'm saying all this because as we move forward into the future, be very cautious what people say is true or not, to have some reservations, hesitations about certain things, and what is the overall goal of all of this. Now, in a separate video, I'm going to talk about some of the Q drops as well as some other connections. So watch that next video. But in this video, I just want to summarize for you what I found and what all of that research was about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Also, if you guys want to support me, you guys know we're trying to reach our goal for the end of this month. All that information is down below in the givesendgo.com link in the description. Also, at PayPal, Zelle, Venmo. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.